Taurus, Saturn, and the material plane Coup. With the current billionaire class in charge, the worst examples of unrestrained greed are on display, and the picture isn't a pretty one in a world where many live in abject poverty. Greed and money are connected to Taurus, as are their inverse, poverty and lack. Two sides of the same coin, the issue has to do with failing to understand our true essence as divine manifestors. How this came about is probably open to dispute, but perhaps it is connected to the biblical account of the fall, where man was separated from God. While I think this story is patriarchal brainwashing to keep us from knowing ourselves, because who would want to be separated from the tree of knowledge, it does speak to our losing sight of who we truly are, an aspect of the Creator. The truth was more likely that power was seized based on a moment of catastrophe whereby we lost touch with our inner guidance system and fell into survival and scarcity mentality. Those with stronger attachment to power and darkness took control, creating the patriarchal model that is still in existence today. Yet the victors were also steeped in the crucible of lack, which is also connected to Saturn. Saturn is likewise the significator of government and repression. If one believes there is not enough, then one must take from others to gain ascendancy and control. Most of man-made history involves the seizing of resources through war, pillaging, slavery, conquest, and colonization. And this has created a hierarchy of haves and have-nots, which has kept us stuck in the lower realms of pain and suffering. As Franklin Roosevelt said, necessitous man is not a free man. Economic inequality is a man-made illness that is created precisely to maintain the Saturnian status quo. It serves to keep our psyches out of alignment and in lower consciousness, so redistribution of wealth is a major step towards a desirable, free, and humane future. All cultures have myths of a primordial golden age where there was no conflict, inequality or war, no need to work or toil, but individuals were gifted with natural abundance. What was less highlighted was the aspect of creating what one wanted through pure intent, which showed man's mastery of the physical world through understanding spiritual laws. Whether this is an idealized past or speaks to alien gods or our seed races, it can become our potential future as we grow in consciousness and understand the physics of manifestation. This will require a thorough realignment of our principles and focused use of energy. In our horoscopes, 2 of the 12 houses are connected to money and resources. The 2nd house of talents and salary, and the 8th house of other people's resources, which includes partners' money, inheritance, royalties, and dividends. Why is it that for many people, this fraction of the chart becomes the overwhelming focus of existence? We fail to place importance or attention to self-development, love, family, public role, spirituality, or relationships, thus robbing ourselves of a balanced life. We may posit that those seeking the most wealth are the most internally impoverished, as the attention to the material plane does tend to blind one to higher realms of existence. The biblical story of the golden calf perfectly explains Taurian imbalance, false idols of a material nature. While the Old Testament tale was meant to decry worship of the goddess and pagan fertility rites, another interpretation is the sin of choosing money over God and spirit. The bull sculpture on Wall Street certainly deifies greed and the accumulation of wealth. With the exception of artists, writers, filmmakers, and perhaps designers, many of the wealthiest or even moderately wealthy individuals have made money through exploitative means. If corporate leaders, they have failed to compensate their employees correctly. As middle managers, they have aided the corporation in reaping profits, often through cheating customers. Remember, large profits mean that you provide less and take more. Corporate creatives have sold their souls promoting products that most people do not really need. On the wasteful end, this includes luxury items of all kinds, and on the atrocity end, deadly pharmaceuticals, toxic chemicals, and military arsenals. The insanity of greed and materialism affects the entire planet, as now we are running out of resources to plunder. Taurus is connected with values, so here's a key to changing the world, changing what we deem as important. With the adoption of a new economic model, such as ecological economics, we could begin to operate more in alignment with the law of equivalent exchange. The true cost of an object or service would include its impact on the environment, social systems, community life, and stewardship of resources for future generations. Throughout much of recorded history, society and Saturnian institutions have kept us stuck in the material realms, whether we have resources or not. That is because rich people and poor people alike worry about money. And once again, because it is an intentional form of oppression, those in poverty have a hard time breaking away from the survival grind of existence to even consider other possibilities. But perhaps, as is clear with the emerging precariat class, those with less money but intelligence and heart will eventually be the ones who do change this outworn paradigm. By developing a different value system that includes the other 10 houses of the chart, we can enhance our quality of life and be satisfied by more than just the temporal desires of 3D reality. We must break through and release from the material plane coup, otherwise we fail to know our true magnificence. Conscious humans in touch with Gaia can help birth a world where everyone receives at the very least basic necessities of life, so that our true innate creativity is freed for expression. This will bring infinitely more satisfaction to humans and long-sought peace to Mother Earth. As long as we are disconnected from our true selves, we are all poor. For our sakes, let us discover our real intrinsic value. Otherwise, in our current corporate dystopia, we will continue to be worth just cents on the dollar. I'm Med Astrologer Patrice Kamens.